Okay, thank you all for participating in the survey. It sounds like you all approached that in a number of different ways, and you got a variety of different answers. What I thought I would do today is just share with you some of the elements contributing to sexual satisfaction that you'll find if you do a literature review. These are things that come up in journal articles and other texts about sexual satisfaction. The first is that people have an adequate level of sexual knowledge, and you can that makes sense. Like if um, if people are really just uninformed about sexuality, you could see how that might lead to anxiety. It might lead to um, just confusion about possibilities. It might, if there's some sort of challenge, they may be less knowledgeable about how to address the problem. Um, and so, yeah, lots of different ways that can contribute to a lack of sexual satisfaction. So the reverse is also true. The more people know about sexuality, the happier they will be with their sexual lives. Okay, another one is comfort with one's body. Now, think about that. That makes a lot of sense. If someone hates their body, it's going to be hard for them to enjoy their sexual experience. And this could be things that attack our sense of ourself and our bodies can be things like around, well, it could be around body size or body shaming, those sort of things. It could be around a disability, like think about who's portrayed in the media as being sexual beings. It could be due to age, like people may be sent the message that because they're older, they're no longer sexual beings. It could be any number of things that sort of just challenge that um, the way that a person is makes them so that they don't experience themselves as sexual beings. Okay. It could be due to issues around acceptance of one's sexuality. That may be around their sexual orientation, but it may also be around just having permission to be a sexual being. And again, it could be different people are sent by society messages about who are sexual beings. And so if you're someone with a disability or someone who's older or someone whose body is different from others in some ways, it may be harder to accept one's sexuality. Sometimes we'll ask clients to tell you a little bit about their day when they've shared they're having sexual difficulties, and maybe they'll start by saying, "Well, I woke up early in the morning. I helped my kid with a paper out. I guess paper outs don't exist anymore, but they woke up for early for some reason, and they tell you about the very hard day, projects that they're working on, and so forth, and then how they came home and all the things they needed to do, and then when their partner finally initiated sex, for some reason they were just not into it. It's because they're tired. So sometimes our task is really simple, pointing out things that people just are not noticing that are obvious, like fatigue. Okay, actually, sexuality and sexual functioning is highly tied to being able to communicate well with your partner. So you could think about this as like you would most any other presenting problem. It can be seen as a communication issue. The ability to communicate sexual needs and preferences is something that can greatly improve sexual satisfaction. But maybe people are not. I mean, I'm hearing some sense of that in the conversations with y'all. That this isn't always an easy topic. So that's true for our clients as well. So helping facilitate a conversation where they can talk about sexual needs and preferences can be a powerful clinical intervention. Okay, continuing. The ability to relate sexuality to interpersonal relationships. Now, if you look at the literature, there's lots of conversations about this, that when people are able to feel a deep, intimate connection with their partner, typically that can increase their sense of a sexual satisfaction. And sometimes I've talked about this in groups, and people have countered and said, well, no, sometimes the best sex is when it's like not tied to it. So I'm open to counter arguments to it, but you will find that in the literature. Okay, the avoidance of performance standards. If you want to feel real miserable about your sexual life, take a lot of those online surveys or surveys that are in magazines about how often do you have sex? Oh, we all have sex 17 times a week. Oh, you don't have that? Well, then you must not be doing it right. I don't know. But excuse me. The avoidance of sort of these standards that are usually ridiculous that are out there that people are holding themselves to. There's a great variety, and you can fall under lots of different variation and be okay. Privacy for sexual activity. Sometimes when you're talking with people, you'll find out a little bit about their living context. Maybe there's 7 people living in a 2-bedroom home, and there just really isn't a space for sexual activity. So part of therapy might be brainstorming with them about how to address that as an issue. And then really sometimes people just get stuck in routines. So helping them change so there's more variation in time, location, and sexual activity. Redundancy and can become really boring. So you just help people spice it up by trying something different. And really think about this, as you do as a therapist, like if something's not working for people, you just try and interrupt the pattern. And there's lots of ways that you as a therapist can help people to do that.
Talk dirty to me. Talk dirty to me.